Yeah. So hello everyone. Welcome to today's video. This is Shanmugaraj. Let's continue our journey on business realization management. Today we're going to discuss about core principles of BRM as part of leadership series. There are 5 core principles as part of business realization management. These core principles are intended to give the behavior and thinking of the top level executives, the benefit owners, and senior leaders of the organizations. Right? The principle will guide the top level leadership guys, the sponsors, senior leaders to help them in terms of the behavior and in terms of thinking the way they want to take the decisions and everything. Let's dive into principle number 1. The first principle talks about net benefits justify the use of investor resources. What does it mean to us? You need to take into account the value. Yesterday we saw about the formula is value is nothing but benefits less cost. So before even you invest the resources, you need to understand the values. For this is going to be the value of this benefit and what should be my investment in the resources. Alright, so your justification of the use of the investor resources to justify the benefits. Right? So net plan benefits are what justifies the sponsoring organization to use valuable resources on the effort. The value needs to take into account the benefits and the investment in the resources required to realize the benefits. Right? So whatever resources you are investing, just justify the value. Right? The second principle talks about the commencement of work. Commencement of work is driven by the benefits identification. You need to clearly identify the planned benefits and desired outcomes before even you start the work in your initiatives like portfolios or programs or projects. You might initiate a number of initiatives. Don't even begin any work, any deployment of resources before you have a clear understanding of the planned benefits. Right? The value and benefits to be articulated unambiguously so that decision makers are able to make informed decisions regarding the work to be taken. Right? So there are 2 things they're talking about in this principles. One is you need to identify very clearly and you have to communicate that the required stakeholders unambiguously. There are 2 things involved in this particular principles. Right? Let's go to the principle number 3. The planned benefits are identified in authorized documents. Right? What they're saying is planned benefits to be appraised, estimated, verified, and agreed with your stakeholders, with the senior leadership, with appropriate beneficiaries in an authorizing document. What are the authorizing document? Business case, benefits realization management plan, portfolio program or project charter. So any of these 3 can be considered as an authorizing document. So they're saying that in the second principle they said don't even start the work before you clearly identify the planned benefits. The third principle says that you document that and agree with your stakeholders in a formally, right, in a charter, in a business case, or wherever you want to put it. Right? So let's get into principle number 4. Benefit realization is holistically planned and managed. There are 3 aspects they're talking about in the principle 4 is BRM extends beyond the portfolio and projects to the entire enterprise. Right? BRM is not about only executing the portfolio. It is going beyond those portfolios and projects and programs, and it impacts entire enterprise, right? Because of its strategic and an organizational nature. The second aspect is BRM should be built into the overall planning approach. So whatever we are planning in terms of strategic planning or execution or operational planning, through portfolios and programs, you need to consider benefit realization as one of the aspects in our overall planning. Right? Whatever you plan, BRM should be built into it. The another aspect of the holistic approach is that a holistic approach is also include taking unexpected change into account with opportunities and threats for the benefit realization aligned to the organization goals. Let's say there is a political climate change, there is what do you call, the compliance nature of the industries, the regulation changes, right? The opportunities and threats will come from the macroeconomical and microeconomical factors. So you should be able to align your benefits realization accordingly. You should be able to change that plan. You should be able to accommodate the changes, right? That's why it's called holistic approach. You need to plan and as well as manage. It's not only planning, it's about managing as well. How do you manage? Any changes coming to the organization in terms of objectives, in terms of goals, you need to realign your benefit realization. The benefits, the number of benefits might change, the quantifiable benefits might change, here and there, plus or minus, it might go up and down, right? Possibly. So you need to understand that benefit realization need to be holistically planned. It should be considered overall planning as level. It is looking at the entire enterprise, not only the execution initiatives. You need to think beyond that, and also whatever the strategical changes coming in terms of opportunities and threats, right? You need to take into account that. The final principle is the governance and adequate resources are essential to the BRM success. Right? The organization should invest resources and efforts to realize and sustain benefits. Right? So if you want to realize and sustain benefit, you have to execute the project. For executing the project, you have to invest resources. You have to put in your effort. Right? The second one is organization should invest in appropriate level of resources. Whatever the expert level of skill level of the resources you need to invest in that areas. Right? Organization should provide a clear and adequate governance structure. You need to give the governance structure, the way you want to govern the BRM, right? Where you want to govern the charters, where you want to govern the portfolios and programs. Everything should be clear. And organization should give authority to the appropriate individuals and hold them accountable for overall success. So you need to assign a person, a senior leader, for entire, benefit realization program. Right? So this is about the final principles of having a governance mechanism in place and adequate resources are deployed for BRM success. Right? So with that, we have come to the conclusion of today's video. Hope you got a fair idea about core principles of benefit realization management. This is a very handy for a senior leader in an organization. Right? What are the principles you need to take into account in terms of BRM planning, in terms of BRM execution, and in terms of BRM sustaining as well, right? So hope you like this video. Thanks a lot for your time. So please give a feedback so that I can improve on my delivery and other aspects. So thanks a lot. I will see you in upcoming videos. Bye bye.